Hello everyone, I welcome you and I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ. In today's lesson, we are going to look at how to create calculated query where we can come up with simple calculations. We can come up with a query to return the current age given a date of birth. So let's dive into it and we see how we can simplify it. So we are going to take this example. So this is what we are following, and here we are saying creating calculated field in a access query. So in a query, access allows you to create mathematical calculation based on numeric fields. You can use mathematical operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. And you can create a formula on a numeric field, on date field, on currency field, etc. as we are going to see in this example. Now to create a calculated field, you simply just need to go to the design view, create your query. After creating a query, what you must remember is that calculation is not done under the criteria. Calculation must be done on its own field. So therefore, after creating a query, you must add another field or a new field where you're going to perform a calculation. From take an example here, you're trying to calculate the total of a certain table. So it means you cannot count the amount under criteria and you perform a calculation there. No, you must create a new field, give that field a name, and you bring in the expression and you run your query and you will be able to see the result. So let's look at this example number 12. The table below gives information on some students of Our Lady of Africa Junior School end of year exams. A. Using any database management system of your choice, create a database and save it as end of year exam. So let us first begin with that straight away. We are going to create our query and database first, and we shall create it as we shall save it as end of year exam. So it means I will come and right click, new, then look for Microsoft Access Database, and you give it that name, and there we are. Now part B is telling us create a table and save it as students marks. Use the above the data above to populate the table, so meaning that we are supposed to create this table and we use this very data to populate it or to enter. Then create a query to calculate the total marks for each student. So we know that our total marks must be marks from mathematics plus marks from English plus marks from SST, then plus marks from science. So let's try to do that. Now this one here, I've already created this table in Excel, so I'm just going to import it. So therefore, to import that, I will need to simply just open a database. I can allow the macros. Then after that, instead of coming to create it, remember we have said I am importing. So I will come to external data. From external data, I'm importing that data from Excel. So I will click on Excel. Then you will come and look for where that file is. So the file name, I will come and browse. My file is on the desktop, so I will scroll around and I click on desktop. Then what is on desktop will be loaded here and simply just scroll. My file is this one. I will just double click on it to open. So there you will be able to see that file name in this path here. Then you click OK. So here I have two sheets. One is called students marks, then the other one is employee table. So I'm using students marks for now, and I simply just click next. Then the first row must contain column headings. Yeah, that's what we are seeing there. Next, then you come and specify the data types. For example, index number is supposed to be short text. You come to name, short text. You come to MTC will be double is the same as number. Then number, then the total I will change it to double, because it's going to come from the result of the, when we add these ones here. So therefore our final result must also be number. Then we shall come and click on next, and here now we can specify the primary key, and here I will choose my own primary key, which is going to be index number. Next, then I will call that table students marks, and I finish. So from there, I simply just close this. So I can now go ahead and open this table, and you see. So that's the table we have imported. Now, our main target here is to create a query to help us calculate the total marks. So I'm going to first close this table, then I will come to create. And remember, we are creating a query, so you can either use query design or query wizard. So I will just come and use query wizard, then okay, and here this is the very table I'm using. So I will just simply select these fields by clicking on this, then next. Under here there's nothing you need to do. Next. Under here, what title do you want to give to your query? So is there a name they said we give? So we can give it any name for now. So for that case, we are going to just come and modify the query in design, then finish. So from here, remember we said we cannot do calculation under criteria. So therefore, we are going to perform our calculation under here. So this is the field we are using for calculation. So I'm going to zoom it first. Let me zoom it first so that we can see it very clear. So this is the field name. I will remove the square bracket. Then this total must be equal to something. Now in a query we don't use equal sign, we use full colon to represent equal sign. So a full colon like that. Then you bring in the expression. Remember, it's going to be math plus English plus SST plus science. So whenever you are performing calculation, whenever you are calculating in a query, if you are referring to a field which is already in existence, you must put that field in a square bracket. So I will open my square bracket, then I have MTC, close that square bracket. So every field must be inside its own square bracket. Then plus, open square bracket again, then ing, close that, plus, open again, we have SST, close, plus, open again, we have science, then you close, and by doing that, I'm done entering my expression. So right now, when we run this query, we shall be able to see total generated for us here. So that is how we generate calculated fields. Now let's go and look at more example now. And in that example, we are now going to generate or calculate the current age using a query. So for that case, there are very many ways how we can do that, but in this video, I have just concentrated on this expression here. So this format is what we are going to use, where we have age, full colon year now, then year, date field. Now, what do they stand for? For example, this age here is the field, or is the field name, the name of the field to be calculated. For example, it it is age, so it means we are going to call that field age. This full colon here stands in for equal sign. Then this here now is just a function that takes the current system date from your computer. For example, our current date, when you look at this computer system here, so this is the setting. The computer is having a 22nd of December 2024. So that will be the current date or the current year where the system is going to take. And then we are also having a year, then field name. So year field name is the date recorded when an event occurred. For example, when something took place. For example, maybe someone was given birth on this day, someone died, some cell took place. So that's what we are going to use here. So let us go ahead and look at this example here to make us understand more. Now, the table below gives information on some staff members of computer school called Comtech Academy. So we have in that table here called employee table, and here they are telling us create a query that will return the following. So meaning that let us create the database, and that database we can call it a Comtech Academy. Then inside it we shall have a table called employee table. So for that case we shall right click, new Microsoft Access database, and remember we are saying we are calling it Comtech Academy. So after that we are going to open it and create this table here. But now this table also I've created it in Excel, so therefore I'm just going to import it. So let me import it. I will open the database. Now instead of creating the table, I will import, but let me first enable the macros. Then I will come to external data. I'm importing it from Excel. Then you come and browse for it. It is on the desktop. And I will come and just double click on add Excel file. Then OK. So from there, this time I'm using employee table. So I will come and click on it. Then next. And I will make sure that the first row contains column headings. Then next. So you come and begin looking at data types. This one is supposed to be short text. That's okay. Click on this. Supposed to be short text. Click on this short text. Click on this short text. Click on this short text. Salary is supposed to be currency. Date of birth is supposed to be date with the time, like this. So but now when you look at the format here, we shall go and format here. We are having a date first, month followed, then year. Okay, and in next, then we can select the primary key, which is going to be ID number. Next, we shall maintain this table name and finish it, and you close this. So when we open this, okay, it was complaining of the date. Okay, I was supposed to leave it the way it was, then I come and format it from here. So let us redo. So you will close and delete this table. Close and delete. Yes. Close and delete. Yes. Let me do that very fast. I import it. Now with the data types, I'm going to correct them from the other side of the table. Next, I will choose the primary key. Next, I will maintain that and finish. Okay, this time we are okay. So I can open, it has it there. So I can now go to the design view of this table and I look at the data types. So this one is we said is supposed to be date with time. Then I will have here DD, then year last. Salary is supposed to be currency. Department, those ones are okay. So save and you go back. So this is our table. So we can now go ahead and do what we're supposed to do. For example, 1, given that tax is calculated as 15% of the salary, and salary in the following year is increased by 10% of the total salary in the previous year. Create a query that will return the following one: employee who were born before 1970. So this is what we did last time. Let us do it again. So we are creating a query. I'll use wizard, but someone can use design. Select the fields. Next, here nothing. Next, we give it a name from here, and the name here we're calling it before 1970. Just come and change this before 1970. Make sure you modify it. So here it takes the design view and finish. Now, what are we doing? We are returning employees who were born before 1970. Now remember, last time we said such queries. Like now, when you see, look at this field, it has 3 parts. It has this part for day, it has a part for month, then it has a part for year. So you cannot just come and type there one of them. You must first specify, you must introduce in a function. Okay, so here what we are going to do under criteria here, I will come and under criteria there, I will come and first zoom it so that we can see it well. So we are saying 1970 is a year. So I will introduce in a function called year. So that's what we call a function, and I've said before. Before means less than 1970. So inside this function, we must specify where the field where this 1970 is picked from. So inside there we shall open square bracket, then we type in the field name, which is a BOD, and you close your square bracket. So this one means extract from me all those employees who are born or I want a year, and that year is extracted from date of birth and must be before 1970. So when you come and run this, you will be able to see. Okay, now this one has also brought us to something. The moment you see this error telling you enter parameter value, it means the field name you did not type it well, and it's even complaining about the field name. It's here B O D, and see it's supposed to be DOB. So let us go back and correct. So just simply go back to the design view, correct that. This one here, it is supposed to be DOB. Then okay, and there run, and here we are having that those ones were before 1970. So we can close this query. Then the next one is employees who were born after 1960. You will also try that. Employees who were born between 1960 and 1970. So between, so we are having create query wizard. Okay, we select the fields. Next, here there is nothing we need. Next, then we give the query the name, and it's called between. So we are going to have between. Then make sure you modify it and finish. Now here this one now will give us all the employees, but we want to extract only those ones who were born between 1960 and 19 something. So you will come here, so it is between 1960 and 1970. So I will come here under criteria, and again, since we are dealing with the 1960 and 1970, it means we're extracting it from the part of year. So introduce that function called year. So this time, year, remember how we are dealing with the between. So between 1960 means it will begin from 1961. Therefore, year must be greater than 1960. And year. So remember, it is between 1960 and 1970, meaning that the last year must be 1969. So this one here must be less than 1970, like that. So now go back and specify where the fields are. So DOB, then here also from DOB, and we run. So don't use between, the word between there. So when you run this, these are the people. So we can close that. We got the next one. Create a query that will return the current age of all the employees. So let us go and create that query. Create query wizard. Okay. Select the fields. Okay. Then we can go to the next. Give it a name, which is age. We modify it and we say finish. Now this time we said if we are to perform calculation in a query, we don't need to do it under the criteria. So therefore we need that field called age. But here we don't have it, we are going to add it. So you come to the last field, after the last field, which is DOB, which is this one here. We have the next one, which is empty field, and that's where you're going to type in the field name. So our field name is called the age, because it is what we are calculating, and we say in query we don't use equal sign, but we simply just use a full colon, and then we bring in our expression, which is year minus year. But here, which year is this one? This is the system year, which is this year here, but we cannot just type it. You introduce in another function inside here now. Then last one here, we are having a when something occurred, when that activity took place. So here we shall just have a square bracket DOB, and we do that. So for this case it means we are getting the current year minus year when these people are given birth to. So this one here remains the same. What changes is what is inside the square bracket according to what you have in your field. Then okay, and when we run that, we will be able to see the current age here. So we can close that, and we create another one. Another one is telling us that employees who are above 50 years, save it as this. So employees who are above 50 years, you will come and create query wizard. Then you select the fields, next. We are giving it a name, and the name is above 50. So you will come here and type above 50 as the query name. Then you modify it and you finish. So from here we need those employees who are above 50 years, but we don't have that field for age. We only have field for date of birth. Therefore we cannot apply the criteria under date of birth. So we need first of all to calculate the age. So again we shall do the same. Age, then we said it is year minus year. Then you specify what's supposed to be here. It is now, so which is the current year. Then here I simply just bring in the field name where you are getting a date of birth. So here, open square bracket, DOB. We said we normally use square bracket in case we are referring to already existing field. Then okay, and for this case here, what we have just done, we have simply just calculated the age and everyone is appearing. But here they are telling us only those ones who are above 50 years. So therefore you will come to the criteria under the age and you specify it above. Above means greater 50. So when you run this, you will be able to find only those ones whose age is above 50. Save it and you close. Then the next was they wanted us to employees who were below 50 years. You will also try that. Then employees whose first name begins with the letter M but the last name ends with the letter N. Okay, let us do that. Now first of all, when you look at the table, our table, staff name, we have both first name and second name but separated with a space there. So we are going to follow that. So let's come here and we create that query. So create query using any method you want. So what name are we giving? We are giving it a name, letter MN. So you come here and give the query a name, letter MN. Come and modify it and finish. So here under staff name is where we are applying our criteria, and here they have told us that the first name begins with the letter M, the last name ends with the letter N. So the first name begins with the letter M, it means M star. Then between the first name and the last name there is space, you also put space. Then the last name is ending with the letter N. So ending means we don't know what is starting, so we have star N, and that is a beginning with the letter M and ending with the letter N. Okay, run. Let me see if we have any person there beginning with the letter M and ending with the letter N. Yeah, it is not there. No one is ending with the letter N. The second. Now what about if we try and we want it to see whether it's working? Let us try beginning with the letter M and ending with the letter D. So it means when you come here, when we put D and we run, we shall have this person here. So the main thing here is to get the idea. So we can close this. We got the next one, and the next one is telling us the tax deduction from every member's salary, save it as tax. So we are going to create a query. We are creating a query and we are calling it tax. Modify it and we are going to calculate the tax. So it means we are going to have that field for tax. So we shall have tax colon, then we bring in the expression. The expression was given here. Tax is calculated as 15% of salary. So we shall go back and say 15%, which is 15 out of 100. Database does not recognize a percentage symbol. So times our salary. So salary is already existing field, which are enclosed inside a square bracket salary. So when we run this, we shall be able to have our tax calculated there. That's okay. Then the other one is employees new salary earned by every member in the new year, save it as a new salary. So here they have said salary in the following year is increased by 10% of the total salary the previous year. So we can create query. Okay, select the fields, next, and here they have said we call it as new salary. Then we modify it. So we want to calculate the increment, so therefore we also need a new field, which I'll zoom it for now, and I will call that field new salary, full colon, and I bring in the expression. So new salary or salary earned by every member in the new year, and here they have told us salary in the following year is increased by 10%. There is increment on top of what was being earned. So we are assuming that the person was earning 100%. Now on that 100%, you're adding 10%. So therefore it becomes 110 out of 100 times the previous year's salary, which is a last salary. You close that. So when you come here and you run it, so we are having our new salary here. Then we can save and close. And save and close. So members, that is all what we needed for today, and that one summarizes how we can create calculated query. Thank you so much for your time.